Yo, what's up? What's up, man? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Y'all already know what time it is. As you can see on my topic here, I got is the black Manosphere Cooked, and the reason why I asked that question because I seen a video yesterday. It was Coach Greg Adams, and I like Coach Greg Adams. I totally get his all his content. I understand what he's getting at and what he's saying about women and men and how men just need to up their game, up their lifestyle. Do better. Go to the gym, work out, make more money. Then you could get the women that you want to do the things that you do, which is something to me that's very obvious. But to a lot of people in this space, it's not so obvious. They like to complain about women and bitch and moan and say what they don't do, what they don't like, and things like that. And I get it, you know what I mean? Because I know how women are. But at the same time, it's like even with my content, I do some videos here and there, having my critiques about women, having my critiques about relationships and whatnot. But at the same time, it's like I don't like to do that content all the time. And if you've been on my channel for a while, if you're one of these people who has been here for I only been here like a year, but if you've been here for a while, then you know that like I can only do certain amounts of content for so long, then I have to go to another one. I have to go to another topic. Then I have to, I like to switch it up. I don't like to do the same type of topics all the time. And I know that's what attracts a lot of the people. And that's what the algorithm really pushes. So if your content is solely based on, talking about relationships, then it wants you to keep talking about relationships every day. It wants you to keep pushing any type of content that's relationship driven, uh, or if you're the type of content where it's man versus woman all the time, they want you to keep having that same type of content because that's what the algorithm wants. And for me, I'm not one of those people. I can't get into that. It's hard for me to get into that mode where I just want to constantly just talk about women all the time, or I just want to constantly talk about men. Even at times, y'all have seen me where I tried to do positive content. Let's ask a question. Let's have a discussion. It's hard to get engagement from that because most people don't want that type of content. They don't want to engage with that. They just want the content where it's a lot of back and forth, arguing, men and women bickering and fighting, like you see on these panel shows where it's every day. The panel gets set up. It's a man and a woman hosting it, and then boom, they invite other people, and then they pose a question, and then here you go. It's the man's perspective, it's the woman's perspective, and they just clash. When we know that most men and most women not going to agree on anything, especially in this day and age where we're so divided, and you have feminism on one side, and you have masculinity on the other side, and we just not gonna ever come to a conclusion, right? And so as I'm listening to these different content creators and whatnot, and then I started watching Greg Adams' video, I was like, I totally see what he's saying, and I get exactly what he's doing because it does make sense. And even when you watch his video, you can see that, to be honest with you, him and other content creators, they kind of pivoting more so where they about to start bashing and going hard on the men. They not it's not gonna be uh so much advice driven as it is them, in my opinion, seeming as if they just gonna be kind of ragging on dudes like, nah, you need to get your money up, you're a lame, you're a bum. That's what I'm starting to hear more and more and more. And I don't fault them for it, because I get it. I see the other guys on here who do videos about women, and I'm just like, has he ever been on a date? Has he ever been in a relationship? Has he ever went to the gym? Has he ever done anything masculine? Because it doesn't seem like it. It just seems like some of these dudes get on her specifically just to make videos where they bash women. And even the videos that I done where I say, look, women uh, uh, only act this certain way towards these certain type of men. And you'll see my comments sometime, and I'm just like, wow, these guys really eat this content up. But if I have a discussion where I say, look, man, what should we do to improve our lives so we can get the men that we want? So we can get the women that we want. I'm sorry. So we can get the women that we want so that we can level up in life. What can we do? And what do they do? Nothing. Nobody will come through. Nobody will watch the video. You can tell they won't click on it. Anything like that'll happen. So uh like I say, as I watched this, he was making a lot of sense. But I can also see the pivot. I can see where the guys who were formerly Manosphere are now going to where we gonna start bashing on men. And also, you look, you know what comes with that? They're gonna start getting a lot more female subscribers because the female subscribers are going to support that. They're going to be behind it. Like, yeah, these dudes need to level up. Yeah, these men do need to act a certain way. They need to quit being so feminine. And I see that coming. I see it coming. There's just a lot of dudes just like that. You know, I got friends who are like that. It's like I'm not really understanding what they have going on, but I guess I can see what they got going on. What's up, L man? Me. All right, let's check out this Greg Adams video. Also, you can go to his page. It's Coach Greg Adams. The video is titled "How the Manosphere Has Led Men Astray."
That don't know what to do with their lives. And what the Manosphere has done is created a rest haven for these hoe ass niggas. Okay. It's a rest haven for bitch ass niggas. Right? To make an excuse, to find an excuse as to why they're a pathetic human being. So it gives them a voice. It gives weak men a voice in which they've never had a voice. They've always been shuttered down. They've always been smacked in the mouth. They've always been hit in the throat till their teeth click. They've always been bullied. They've always had no place to reach out and submit their disdain behind avatars and shit like this. To the point where the Manospheres became a rest haven for these whole ass niggas.
That's why I say I agree with him on that point because it's a lot of men. I'm telling you, if you run across these pages, let's say you start getting into the algorithm where you're trying to search for certain type of videos, like these Manosphere videos, and you run across certain individuals, and it just you look at them and you think, how can they even speak on the Manosphere? And you hate to be like that to, kind of just judge people off of what they look like, but you can see that they're only making this content because they're losers, because they're the guys who can't get women, even if they try. They're the guys who are out of shape. They're the guys who are just, you know, they're not lookers. They don't have a good personality. You can see these things. So you watch it and they're saying certain things. Like, okay, I kind of agree with that, but it's coming from a bad place, in my opinion. And that's just what it seems like. That's just what it seems like. What's up, Dark Kent? Yeah, I'm on early today, man. Yeah, I'm on early today. I meant to drop a video yesterday, but I haven't been feeling too good, so I said nah. I'm just gonna do a live tomorrow early. I'll probably drop a video later, but let's continue.
For the losers, for the fat belly, pork belly, fat neck ass niggas, right? So no other space on the internet has been able to wrangle in these type of men like the Manosphere, right? You can't do it with sports. Sports is not a place. Like these men, they could exercise and exhibit their hate in sports, but it would be down to loyalty. Oh, you just don't like the Buffalo Bills, right? You just don't like the Raiders. You just don't like the Jets. And then you can completely dismiss them. Okay, you just mad because the Jets lost, and you can dismiss them. So sports wasn't a place where this collective group of men can get together, where a great portion of the loser men can reach to the top by being a keyboard warrior. They can reach to the top by creating wonderful comments, not content, comments, because they don't create comments. I mean, they don't create content. They're too scared to create content, but they're very good at jumping in and being opinionated. The problem is they don't got nothing to show for it. And the Manosphere has been that place. Now, there's other places that are kind of doing that now. I see that with the Myron Gaines group of men. The Myron Gaines groups of men.
Yep.
Those guys that be up there all day talking about the Jews and all that, these are just some loser niggas. Like most of them.
That's a fact. Now, he is not lying. He is not lying. I've seen Myron Gaines show from time to time. I've seen clips, and I'm telling you, it's a little bit of truth in everything that a lot of people say. And you watch and you like, yeah, I can agree with that. And I understand what you're getting at right there. But a lot of the dudes who do watch shows like Myron Gaines, they sit on there all day and bash women. Now, look, I have my problem with these modern women and how they act and how they conduct themselves, but nothing's going to change with them. You cannot change these women. You cannot make them do things that they don't want to do. The only thing you can do is like people like Coach Greg Adams says, is for you to level up so that you can be in control and they gotta follow your lead. That's the only thing you can really do. Now, to sit on her every day and say women are sluts, women are whores, they ain't shit, they ain't this, they ain't that. Like you ain't getting nowhere with that. And as a man, it makes you look so weak because that's all you can do. You ain't doing nothing. You're not improving yourself. You just on her to bash the opposite sex, and that's what so many of these dudes are coming on her doing. They do it day in and day out. People, the Myron Gaines is, and who else is it? I can't think of the name, but I see the dude. Even Ugly Money Niche. Y'all know him. He always play like he got the soundboard like "Do-do-do-do-do-do," and he be screaming and talking loud. Even him, like he go in on women all the time. But that's his thing, that's his content. So even with certain people, you have to think, is this just content? Like, are you just catering to people? Or are you really here to try to make a point? And I think for the most part, a lot of people do have this thing where they don't like women. Because I like women. Now I say things that I have to say, but I don't dislike women. Like I like women, bro. Like that shit is crazy to me. Yeah, Andrew Tate is one of them. Like, bro, it's like we get it. I get it. Like, I totally get what y'all be saying. But I'm not. I don't want to bash women day in and day out. I don't have that in me. You know what I'm saying? Even when I talk about black people, you see how I talk about them. And I'm a black person. Now I tell you things that I don't like how we act. I don't like how we conduct ourselves in public. I don't like how our women are. I don't like how some of our women dress. But I don't want to make that content every day because that's just not me. Like it comes to a point where you feel like, do you hate black people or do you hate women? No, I don't. So I don't want to make that content every day. But these algorithms force a lot of these people to do that because they're making tons of cash. So they're not going to stop, even to the detriment to our society, that they'll continue to keep making this stuff because it's making them money. But it's like, bro, you're ruining generations of men by constantly ragging on this instead of giving them solutions. You're not giving them solutions. You're giving them something to bitch about. You know, like I say, if I come on here and try to do a show where we actually trying to give or trying to find solutions, because I'm not gonna say I have all the solutions, but if I ask people to come on here with me and we try to find solutions, people they don't want to participate, which is it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things, bro. What's up, Jeff Will? Yeah, man. Ugly Money, he do be on point. He be on point. Say he be on point like you, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, Ugly Money, he do be on point. He do be on point. That I ain't gonna lie about that. He do be on point. He be getting on them. They'll say something. It get to the point where they have to just sit there and be like, "Damn, he got me with that one." But that's definitely facts.
From the loser niggas. Now I get it, bro. I get it. I went to school with the you know who, which is, but these are loser motherfuckers trying to explain why they're losing, right? With really no solution. Like, what are you gonna do? Nothing. 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 You're gonna do nothing, bro. You ain't gonna do nothing about it. You can tell me who owns the banks, who owns Hollywood, who owns the university, who owns CBS, NBC, ABC, and you ain't gonna do a goddamn thing about it. Zero. All right. That's all you're gonna do. And who did this and who created this, the Hausbergs and the Rothschilds. Yeah, you can get all that knowledge in your head if you want to. It ain't gonna do shit about them the goddamn taco sauce stains on your t-shirt. I'm in for a good conspiracy, but this is a rest haven for loser niggas, right? So you have that space that is kind of taken over because the manosphere is kind of dead. There's really no more meat on the carcass.
Also, man, make sure y'all answer the poll that's in the chat. Is the Manosphere dead? Is it cooked? Stick a fork in them. Let me go to the poll real quick and see what we had so far. It's I put is the Manosphere cooked? We got 40% say yes. Stick a fork in them. They say yes. Stick a fork. So 20% say no, not even close. For another 40% say Manosphere wasn't even a thing. Wow. I want to know who was posting that. There's probably some women or something who came through and was like, yeah, it wasn't even a thing. Nah, it was definitely a thing. But even when I talk about the Manosphere or the people who I listen to the people who actually, like I've said this, the men who get on men and tell you what you need to do, how you need to be. You need to level up. You know, you need to do certain things. I like the dudes who bash women all day. I can't watch that. I just can't because it's like you like I already know this. Any very masculine man who's watching me right now, you knows whenever these dudes get into that point where they just bashing on women all day, you like I already know this stuff. It's like it's common sense. I don't need to just keep watching content where you say, "Oh, women are like this and women are like that, and this is what they do." We know that, even though we all make that type of content, but the ones who do it day in and day out, you're not telling me nothing that I don't know or I haven't experienced.
There's no more meat on the carcass. They've already look. The women are making manosphere content. They don't. They're not even manosphere related.
Facts,
They're just taking everything that's been said, and they're
man.
making videos. I saw a woman, a white woman, and her video was like, "What are our passport bros? A passport bros are a group of people. Chat GPT, right? She completely took Chat GPT, learned about that space, and she's making how-to videos of understanding the male space. And I don't know if she's made videos about other things. I just keep seeing males videos pop up, but it's great content creation strategy, right?
Have y'all seen this? Because it's a lot of women who are now taking over the manosphere space. I've seen videos of women who actually have repeated verbatim what I've seen on other shows of other men saying. And I'm like, when I think about it like that, the manosphere is cooked. It really is, bro. When you got women inside here regurgitating what they heard men say, just so they can start making a dollar off of it. And I'm not saying all of them don't believe that because some women actually believe that stuff because they have felt the residual effects of what feminism has done to them. And they're experiencing it. So they have felt like, look, I'm gonna speak up for men.
And that's exactly what you're supposed to do as a content creator. You're supposed to, you're supposed to, that's what you're supposed to do. You should take a topic, a popular topic, and then go viral just explaining it. Like, you don't have to be a part of the space to explain it. I think it's egregious because then what happens is these weak men go into her comment section and then fill up her comment section with red pill ranger shit. Shit that ain't gonna help them. Shit that they've been saying for 10 years and they ain't moved a goddamn muscle. But when it comes to where men can conglomerate, well, not what I was saying, they can gather, they can get together. The manosphere is the only space that men have been able to do this in the last 20 years, for better or for worse. But it's turning worse. You know what I mean? It's turning worse because what I'm realizing is that, number one, these men are desperate to have a solution when there's none. Okay? Okay. Yeah, somebody said I don't blame the red pill, I blame the men. Yeah, the men. So they want a solution where there's none. And I've been clear for many, many years saying there's no solution that you're gonna do in terms of a group of people, like say just the men are gonna benefit and change. There's nothing. That's why Mr. Palmer had changed the laws in your mind. There's no solution related to that politically.
That's a fact. There is no solution. There is nothing that you're gonna do to change these women. Women are gonna be who they're gonna be. They've been the same way since the beginning of time. They've been superficial. They've been materialistic. They like the strong man. They 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 always are trying to find the next best thing. That's not gonna change. The thing is, for us, we need to put ourselves in a position where we're the ones in control, and that doesn't affect us. That's the thing. Like, yeah, I'm not saying like I'm the guy who knows and got and has all the answers. I'm just telling you, as a man, that's like obvious to me. You know what I'm saying? That's just obvious. That's a brain surgeon don't need to tell you that. No manosphere professor or a manosphere connoisseur or whatever you want to call him shouldn't need to tell you that. And that's how you know, like you said in the beginning, a lot of these dudes in this space are just lame. They don't even have an inkling of masculinity in them. So they don't understand this stuff. So what it has turned into is just strictly anger. That's it. That's right, Gen X. You said Kendra G, Pearl, Dee Dee, Girls Talk. They all do it. Yep, they all do it. They all do it. It's funny when you watch them, and it's every one that you said, and I've seen every last one of them. I even been on one of the shows. Not gonna say the name, but yes, she does it all the time. And it was crazy how I was watching Tommy one day, and he spoke on one of these women. He was like, "This one woman, she's always posting my content, this, and that." And I'm thinking, damn, I know exactly who he was talking about. I know exactly who he was talking about. I knew exactly who he was talking about because they've taken the Manosphere's talking points and now they making money off of it. And guess what you got? You got tons of men that's sitting on there because it's a pretty face, it's a cute woman, and they're like, oh man, she's right. Let me send her $10. Let me send her $15. Let me send her $2. Let me send her $5. And the dudes who be saying the same shit, they don't send them nothing, they don't support nothing. Hell, they actually get mad at them. They actually get mad at him. Lord have mercy. Somebody names Sotiris9, who was that high, Anyway, I'm not even going. Anyway, the person in the video is named Coach Greg Adams. You can go to his page. It's Coach Greg Adams. And the video is entitled How the Manosphere Has Led Men Astray. So you can go check it out over there.
All right, legally, like you're up shit's creek because they circled the wagons. They have the university, they have the media, they have the politicians. You're not gonna stop women from voting. We need to repeal the 19th. Okay, that's when I have to step back and say.
Also, if you're watching the video, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button too. And if you do, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. I really would appreciate it.
You know what? If you guys are still saying this shit and you want me to say it, but you're mad that I'm not gonna say it, no more. I can't, bro. I can't because can I unlock the other channel? The other what? Okay, bro. I'm on vacation, bro. All right, I can't unlock. I'm on a phone on vacation. I don't got my eyeglasses on. I can barely see that shit on the screen. You wanted me to go unlock this and unblock you? Impossible. But what I've noticed is that, number one, they're looking for solutions when there are none. So they want to feel good about a possible solution. Okay? They want to feel good about a possible solution. Ecclesiastical marriages, repeal the 19th, stop feminism, whatever these people come up with a solution when there is none. And I'm like, yo, that's pathetic because that's not going to happen. That's why I had the free agent lifestyle. You need to kind of free yourself from that in order to survive. Now, these men want that solution doesn't work for them, okay? Because if it did, I would have sold 1 million copies of a book. I would be world famous, but nobody wanted me to be world famous. All right, even accidentally, I end up on a Diddy documentary. Even accidentally, I end up where people want to collab. Even accidentally, people invite me over to collab, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't realize that you would give us more views than we normally would get." Because people want to see what I'm going to say and talk about. They just don't want to champion me in that because they really don't like me. Now the manosphere
Well, it's that, and then you have a lot of haters too. You gotta think women aren't the only people who hate on each other. You got men who actually hate on other men, even though typically a lot of men don't do that. We encourage each other, or we try to get to another dude's level. Like if I see this man, he's a billionaire. I'm trying to get to his level. I'm not gonna hate on him. But now you have such feminized men where they just be like, look, let's just take him down. We ain't gonna support him. We're gonna bash him. We're gonna make him look bad. Even though we're gonna listen to him and consume his content and repeat his talking points, we're not gonna give him no credit. So that's what we're gonna do. Gen X says it's wild because the things that these women say, I've heard years before from Kevin Samuels. Yeah, man, they have been repeating and they are just simply regurgitating what all of these men in the quote unquote manosphere have been saying. That's all they doing. I mean, go to TikTok and just listen to the little short 10, 20, 30-second clips that some of these women are posting where these women who they call pick me's or what they saying. You like, bro, a man already said that word for word. Or they try to rephrase it, but for the most part, a man has already said that.
is also full of racists. Okay, racist white men, which they cannot stand to see a black man be successful. Now, they'll champion me saying this shit up until a point. Up until a point. Now, when I start banging more white hoes and Asians than they can get, finer ones, and traveling, and then buying cars and houses and land and real estate, they don't want to see that shit. They want nothing to do with that. So then they get into their bullshit, aka the clanosphere. Okay, aka they get into their clanosphere bullshit.
Yes.
And even the content creators, their clanosphere racism really riles up
Man.
to the point they're like, nah, we can't let CGA get that big. He not gonna be on top. The only way they would have allowed it is if I associated with the black manosphere, which is another bunch of loser niggas. Like the black manosphere is probably, just above being pathetic related to the rest of the manosphere. Okay, the manosphere in general is a notch below pathetic. The black manosphere is pathetic. All right, but a bunch of pathetic men that hate black women, but for some reason, y'all don't want to do nothing but date black women. I don't get it. Y'all got enough to say about black women that could be to continuing dating black women. It's mind-boggling. I mean, how much black women content can you come up with? But back to these clanosphere niggas. Back to these clanosphere niggas.
How much content can you come? That's what I'm saying. That's why I can't sit up here and do that content all the time. Like I said, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say about black women because it's things that I don't like, how they conduct themselves, what they do. But I'll be damned if I sit on her day in and day out and black women this and black women that. Because even if you make 2 or 3 videos, I've had people come up to me and say, man, you hate black women. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, you gotta, some of this shit just be content. Like, and you start to have people thinking that you really hate black. I don't hate black women. That's not even in me. That's not even in me, but that's what you get if you sit up here and make this content day in and day out. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Right? So the content creators have always had this animosity towards me because I've never allied with the black manosphere. I was always just a free agent. A free agent. I'm free from any allegiance. I'm not aligned to anybody. I'm just kind of associated here and there. But then people were like, hey, you're one of the greater voices here. And they're like, the male content creators are like, nah, we ain't having that shit. He ain't gonna be the king of the white manosphere type thing. So they had to put the kibosh on that, and they executed Order 66 on me related to that, and so forth and so on. And I was able to move around that because I build brands. I'm a business owner. I'm a businessman. Okay? I'm not just here to become a popular content creator. When everybody was chasing Dr. Phil, I didn't chase him. I didn't respond to the email. It wasn't impressive to me because I've already been seen and known and done interviews. This is not the peak of my ability to do that. So they were chasing to be a celebrity and a star, and I never was. It was just came along with the territory where me and my work and my branding of myself and my self-championing of myself, right? And also my relentless self marketing of myself rub people the wrong way to when they want to see you a loser. Like I'm a shameless self promoter of myself because
Yeah, but like you were saying a minute ago about the whole Clanosphere thing, that now that is real. It is some guys who I've watched their content, white guys, and they speak about relationships and things like that. And I swear to God, now I'm gonna say over the last few months, it has ramped up on their pages how much they hate black people. They disguise it as, they're just telling their truths about black people. But if you watch the video from beginning to end, and you like, bro, they really have an issue with black people. They really got a hang up about black people, just like I do. But theirs is something that they're hiding their racism and their disgust for black people behind the manosphere. That's exactly what they're doing. It's one guy who I watched his pages. He keeps critiquing these videos of this guy named Frank Zanu. Now, this dude Frank Zanu is, I can't think of where he's from in Africa, but he's always saying that Black Americans don't have no culture. He's always saying this. He's talking about black people. He's talking about all kind of things about black people, how we can't do this and we can't do that. When the fact of the matter is, we've already done a lot of the things that he's saying. He's saying when he's saying black people don't have no culture, he's sitting up here wearing white clothing, speaking a white language. He's doing all of these things which doesn't back up anything that he's saying. He's doing it for simply for content and to get a reaction. But since it's a black dude saying this and speaking against, well, an African dude speaking against black Americans, he's eating that content up and keeps pointing out the fact that yeah, black Americans don't have no culture. Black Americans can't espouse anything. Black Americans can't accomplish anything. Black Americans don't know how this works. They don't know how that works. He is eating that type of content up. It's a fact. Now that's just the truth. Jeff Wills says you, Jason Black, Young Goldie, Niche, and a few others give solutions, which is for men to focus on building and elevating in every aspect, therefore having leverage in the upper hand in these modern times. That's what I like to talk about. Like I would like to look. Let's ask each other, how can we build something? How can we get to a point where we're the ones who are in control again? Not just sitting on her. Oh yeah, black women this and black women that and black women are hood and black women are ratchet and look, you're gonna get a little bit, but I'm not doing that every day, and I know people don't want to hear that every day. So if I was to sit up here and do that type of content every day, man, I would be where I want to be right now, and I promise you I would, because I've done certain types of videos in a row just to see what was going to happen, and I could see how it was slowly eking up, how my followers kind of picked up. But then I would just do another video because I'm like, I don't want. Okay, that's it. I've done 3, 4 videos in a row. That's it. I'm moving on to something else. I'll come back to that later on. I'm not doing that every day. But I could, but I don't want to do that every day. Making content, getting into the nuances of us men elevating would never get old. Fact. That's a fact, Jeff Will. And we got to keep that our main focus. See, when people like you say stuff like that, that makes me want to go more into that. And I know other dudes feel like that. Because we don't want to talk about women all the time. Let's talk about solutions. Let's talk about fixing the problems. Let's do that. That shy kid Dre say, Black Americans are not Africans. We just got that ancestry, different culture, different opinions. Africans, just like all of us that been conquered, have the mindset of our conqueror. Yeah, but if you go ask Frank Zano, he'll tell you a different story. He'll tell you he'll bash on Africans. He'll bash on black people. I mean, the dude he is really carving out a niche for himself on the internet. He gonna blow up off of that. It's just a matter of time, because he see how the whole FBA movements and other movements like that have taken off. And FBA really isn't a movement, but I'm saying that for the sake of this conversation. But that's where he's going. He's carving out something for himself. I know what he's doing.
because who else is going to promote me? Myself. So if I'm not associated with the Black Manosphere, and by virtue, then I will be associated with just the Manosphere, which means I'm competing with the white boys of the Manosphere. They ain't want that. They not having none of that shit. Which is in that in lies many of the issues of the Manosphere. So you have the subtle racism of the content creators and the loser white men. They have that subtle racist activity going on towards me, to where I like, we don't want to see this nigga doing better than us.
Yep.
Okay? We don't want to see him doing better than us. Then I'm not giving you solutions, meaning that I never give you solutions. I'm like, there's no solutions. I'm like, y'all not doing anything legally. Men don't have that much power. We're not rolling back to the 50s and the 90s. So I don't give people what they want to hear in terms of hope. Okay? I don't give the loser something that they can feast off of in terms of hope. Because why? Because I tell them they got to do something. You got to do something to be able to free yourself. It's not going to be
That's it. Men, a lot of these dudes don't want to do something to free themselves. They just want to get online and hear how bad women are, just so they can copy and repaste that content and do a reaction video or come online and regurgitate it and say, yeah, this is what women do and this is what we don't like and this is how we need to start acting as men. Like that's all that a lot of these guys want to do. I mean, every time I make one of these comments, these videos, read my comments. Some of these dudes, you read the comments, you kind of like, I get it, and you agree with me, but it seems like y'all just hate women. That's just what it seems like. And I don't get it.
a collective. Men are stick together and they'll unite. No, they won't. No, they do. The whole space of what they call the manosphere never united. It was never united at all. Not for a single second. The only way it was united was by whoever termed the manosphere. That was the only way it was somewhat united. There has been a lot of male jealousy and hating and backbiting, backstabbing, politics, and male jealousy and demonetizing of channels, right? Behind the scenes and within the group of men that are so-called the people who supposed to be watching as the men unite. Like, these men were doing the opposite of it. And I watched it the entire time, to the point where I'm at the point where I'm like, dude, I can't even bite my tongue anymore, because what the fuck is the point of me making content for men when men want to be losers?
That's the truth. Watch these videos, man. I remember watching videos where dudes supposed to be on code as men, talking about how relationships are, how women are, and they sit up here arguing like women, calling each other bitches and fat and this and that, and you broke and then next thing you know, the person's page is demonetized. They off the internet. Look at Tommy. Look, Tommy gets destroyed every time he try to come back to YouTube. They get him off of here. Now, Tommy he gets deep into that whole thing about black women. He is he does have a certain level of an obsession to me when it comes to black women. And I totally be understanding what he be saying, but it's like I couldn't make that type of content every day. I just couldn't. I agree with the things that he says from time to time, but it's like I cannot sit up here and bash black women day in and day out the way that he does. But he does it because he's making money off of it. So that's why he's doing it. Gen X says, well, a lot of the black manosphere were together back in the beginning. And that's what I heard. See, I wasn't around then. I was catching it here and there, catching little bits and pieces. But yeah, even the guys that I listened to, Greg Adams, Angry Man, and other people, they was like, yeah, we was all together in the beginning. And then they start hating on each other. Now they all split up and they doing their own thing now. Gen X says Kevin Samuels poured in a lot of dudes like Fresh and Fit, Donovan Sharp, and a few others. Yeah, he did. He did. Jeff Will says facts. Gen X says once Kevin Samuels saw how extreme they were going, he started doing his own. Exactly. And I peeped that too. You know, when you would watch people like Kevin Samuels and others, you see, okay, this is where they going. And then you seeing other guys, you like, damn, they over the top with it. Like they are so far out there. It's like I can't, I can take bits and pieces of it, but I can't go that far. That's a bridge too far for me. Like that's a little bit too much for me, bro. That's a little bit too much, you know.
Right. That's what they want to be. They want to be losers. They want to be. They want sympathy. Men want sympathy, and that's a pathetic place to be as a man. They want sympathy. Now, when I tell you what I'm going through, it's not for sympathy. It's for me to tell you I've overcame it. I overcame it. I overcame the odds of being demonetized. I was one of the first ones in the modern time to be demonetized. I overcame the odds completely. But what men do is they go, oh, he gonna make me do work. He gonna make me be better. He gonna make me boss up. He gonna make me go to the gym. He gonna make me travel. He gonna make me make more money. Nah, we don't want to do that. We want to be sympathetic. We want women to have sympathy on us. We want society to have sympathy on us. And I'm like, they're never gonna happen, bro. They want the politicians to have sympathy. We're men, and we're united. Dude, men have never been united in the history of the world. In the history of the world. You can't even get men to be united on dating strategy within the manosphere. There's men that don't want to date. There's men that do want to date. There's men that want to run game. There's dudes that want to pimp women, which is mind-boggling to me. And then they'll come out here and then be mad at the men that want to buy women and lease them to basically play into the hands of what women want. Oh, give them what they want. Here, just deal with them like that. No, we don't want to do that. What we want to do, argue with them? We want to sit around and fight them and get them to do what we want them to do? Is that what you want to do? Spend time?
Yes, it's a lot of dudes out here that want to sit up here and argue with women. They want to go out on dates with women or meet up with women and then start spewing this manosphere rhetoric. Yeah, because see, women only want men for resources. They want to start talking to women like that. Like that shit. Like, come on, bro. Everybody knows that when it's just like when black people around other black people, we talk a certain way. And then when we get around other people, we talk a different type of way. When men around men, we talk a certain way, but when a man is around a woman, he don't talk the same way as he does when he's with men. But you got guys that's really out here talking the same. They in the manosphere or they talking to men about relationships and how women are, and then they going out and talking to women in public and they trying to holler at a woman, and then they start spewing the same rhetoric. What do you think you're gonna get with that? It's how you know they don't know what they doing. They lame. They weak minded. They don't got it in them. They don't got it in them. They don't got it in them.
I'm arguing with them, and it's it's a real sad situation for me to report. But I'm the only one that can report it because that space, the manosphere, has made more weak men than it has helped men. It's made more weak men than it has helped men. Now, it has helped some men. I would say a 20% of men, because those men got the information, they learned what they needed to learn, they adjusted, and they got out, or they stayed, they became a contributor, whatever it was, they created content. So they stuck around. And by the way, if anybody thinks that this is something new, no, I've been saying this from the beginning. Men have been stuck in rage. They want to be mad. Whether they were unsuccessful with dating, or they got a divorce, or they were victims of the legal system, all things that I talked about and gave you the knowledge. I gave you the knowledge that you could use, but they got stuck. They got stuck, and they got stuck without options. They got stuck without options, and now they're looking and going, I have less options. They kind of whittled their options down to this. They went MGTOW. But how long are you going to be MGTOW? Eventually, you want to want some pussy. And eventually, you
Exactly, because it was a point I'm gonna say probably like a month ago. Because I y'all heard me say stuff on here, and I was like, maybe I'm considered MGTOW. But then I got to thinking, no, because I actually do interact with women. Like I just recently had a interaction with a woman a couple of days ago. So it's like, uh, no, I wouldn't consider myself MGTOW. I think MGTOW, honestly, is more so for older men who already have had a family, have had kids, and have experienced that whole marriage lifestyle and doing what they do. And then now they just like, nah, I'm done with that. I got burnt. I'm good. I'm just gonna live my life, take my money, travel, and do. I think MGTOW is really for them. I think when you got younger dudes talking about they MGTOW, I don't think they really MGTOW because they still really want to interact with women and have relationships and get married and stuff like that. But if you've already done that, I think then yeah, you could probably consider yourself MGTOW. You probably wouldn't have an issue with it because you've already done all of that. It's not new to you.
going to want sex. Sometimes you might want companionship or relationship. You might want a situationship. You might want a rotational date, spin plates. Eventually, you're going to want to move out of that. But then now you've stuffed yourself out of it. And now you're mad because now you don't have options. As I've been saying, for men, abundance, leverage, and options. The idea that you have scarcity through your lack of ability to fund your lifestyle is why you're upset. Then when you see the free agent lifestyle, you see me doing it, then it upsets you even further. To where, you have to find a way to make me wrong about something. I'm right about the philosophy. I'm right about feminism. I'm right about dating. I'm right about all these things. Where I'm wrong, self-promoting. He think he all that for a short nigga. He's black. Whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but I wasn't here to win over men in a way for them to be grateful of what I've done. But
Gen X say, what you say? He said, MGTOW. I just traveled around the world. Compliments of the military. Yeah, I'm glad for you. See, I think you can say that, but I think younger dudes who haven't experienced a certain type of lifestyle, they can't say that they MGTOW. I don't think they can say that they MGTOW because you haven't done anything. It's levels to everything, right? He said, I've been with multiple women from 5 different countries.
You gonna learn today.
I realize that men will only go so far because men are ungrateful. Men are ungrateful. They have a sense of not only superiority, they have a sense of entitlement that they believe the world revolves around them and that they should be in charge and in order when um when the opposite has always occurred. Only a small percentage of men have been successful. Only a small percentage of men have been in charge. Only a small percentage of men have been the kings. Only a small percentage of men. The rest of the men have been peons and losers. And the only difference between today's losers and yesterday's losers is that today's losers have a voice. That's the difference. This is the difference. Today's losers have a voice. See, yesterday's losers couldn't write books, they couldn't get on vlogs, they couldn't leave a comment, they couldn't hate, they can't be weak, jealous motherfuckers, they couldn't hide behind avatars, they had to show their face, they had to go outside, they had to risk getting shot at the poker table for cheating, holding that aces and eight and lying and pulling the ace up their sleeve. See, yesterday's losers face the penalty. Today's losers got a voice.
See, I think what he's saying is losers. In my opinion, I think he's talking about below average people because most of everyone is an average individual. Most people are just average. And I think a lot of average people have great lives. A lot of average people can go around the world and travel and do certain things. I don't think that takes a above average individual to be like that. I know people who, in my opinion, are below average, and they've been on all types of trips and vacations and on government assistance. So I think the average person is not shouldn't be ashamed of being average. But this day and age, when people hear the word average, they get upset and they think that they're not average. But most of us are just average, you know. I think the real failure in life is to be below average. Like you said, the losers. Those people are failures, in my opinion.
And because they have a voice, they think they're right. Because all men think they're right. Look, you can get a group of men in a room, and there'll be more chiefs than there are Indians. Because every man believes he knows it all. He knows it better than the next man. Well, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. It's what you can do that makes you a man, not what you know. Not your opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has them, and they all stink. But what men believe is that they're right and they know more than the next guy. That don't mean shit. That means nothing. Just because you know and you can express it don't mean any goddamn thing.
Exactly. It's a lot of men in this space that don't listen. I've been around older dudes, and I've talked to them in spaces on Twitter, on YouTube or whatever. And I don't have an issue if they tell me something like, "Okay, yeah, I agree with that. I can understand that," or "No, I don't agree with that. What about this? What do you think about that?" Like, I don't have an issue with that. But it's a lot of dudes that's in this space who they think whatever they say is right. And anytime you go against them, they're going to have some type of back and forth where they're going to try to prove themselves right. And I think that also comes into play because just being on the internet or having some type of YouTube show like this or whatever, it makes people feel like they got the right answer. And that's not true. I know I don't have the right answers all the time. When I do videos, I'm not saying I'm 100% right. If you have a disagreement with me, then you have a disagreement with me. But I'm open to difference of opinions, or if you got the facts to back up what you're saying. Like I can agree with that and say, "Oh, I was wrong about that." I may challenge you, but I won't have in the end. I won't have a problem saying, "Yeah, you know what? You're right. I agree with that. I agree with that." Tom says there's opinion versus fact. Be specific. I thought I just did, or maybe you just haven't got to that point yet. But yeah, I mean, I have my opinions. Other people have their opinions. But like I just said, if somebody has facts, then I could okay, yeah, I could agree with that. Got you. Cool. Rod shaking my head, bro. I don't know. Somebody in here trolling.
As a man telling another man, it means nothing. Zero. Because there's guys that knew far less and they got more shit done than the dudes that knew. There's guys that knew a whole bunch and they were employed by people who didn't know as much. Because those guys knew how to take a risk. See, this is why what separates men. Men know how to take a risk. Me being a content creator, a lot of the motherfuckers don't want me to win because they thought, well, men shouldn't win teaching men. Bullshit. A black man shouldn't win teaching men. He should do it just on the strength of it. Bullshit. But when it comes down to it, you might know more than me, but you can't get no motherfucking audience to hear your goofy ass. Now that's the difference.
And see that there you go with that's the issue, right? Because people may like to listen to somebody and they may be totally wrong, but he can command the audience. So once the checks start rolling out and he starts getting that money, he gonna think, "Oh, I'm right. I know what I'm talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about." You know why I know? You know how I know what I'm talking about? It's because everybody's tuning in. It's because everybody is clicking on these videos. Everybody got their eyeballs on me. They all watching me. Tom says, read the book Being Wrong. The white lady breaks down human primitive ways. It's quite embarrassing. I'll read it, but I don't need a book to tell me that. I know human primitive ways are embarrassing. I already know. Shit, I ain't in denial.
Can't you see that's the difference? So it ain't what you know. It ain't that you think you know more than me. It's that you can't get nobody to listen to your recess chin, fat, goofy ass. That's the difference between you getting the audience and knowing what you know versus me getting the audience and knowing what I know. Me getting an audience and turning in myself into a personality and then interview requests and showing up on this and showing up on that and winning in life and you.
And see, this is what I'm talking about. You can actually see the pivot when it's starting to come to these quote unquote manosphere dudes. You can really see that they're really pivoting to get away from that type of content because they see the guys who are in it now, which are a lot of these lame dudes, but they finna start ragging and bashing on men. That's, somebody might, no, they ain't what they, yes, they are. Yes, they are. They are definitely pivoting to where they gonna come on here every day. Y'all are bums. You ain't got no money, you broke, and that's why you ain't getting no women. And guess what? A lot of women gonna be hitting that subscribe button, talking about, yeah, this brother is right. This brother is on point. See, because it's a lot of men on her that did this and this and that. I'm telling y'all what's about to happen. I'm telling you what's about to happen. The Manosphere dudes is about to make a big, big pivot. They finna pivot hard. They probably gonna lose a lot of subscribers because some men gonna feel they gonna take it so personally that they gonna hit that unsubscribe button. But then you gonna have a lot of people that's gonna hit the subscribe button. And like I say, I think it's gonna be a lot of women that's gonna be like, yeah. See, I like Coach Greg Adams because see, when he say you men out here is broke and y'all ain't got no money and y'all need to go to the gym, he telling the truth. That's what's gonna happen. You tell me I'm lying. I know I ain't lying. Gen X say, yep. That was Fresh and Fit's angle. Fitness and money. They were all right. Women, grain of salt issue. Yep. Is the bottom guy Trenton? No, it's a man.
That's the manosphere in a nutshell. Because the next content creator, I know more than him. I know more than CGA. So motherfucking what? Who cares? Who cares? You're hiding behind a fake name and an avatar. So your opinion don't matter. Your opinion don't matter as much as mine. Mine gonna preside over yours every goddamn day of the week because I got a good mouthpiece. My voice is good. Shit, women like me, men like me, men are inspired by me. You can't inspire men to do anything. You think about it. The majority of male content creators and the majority of male watchers in the so-called manosphere have never been able to inspire a group of men other than YouTube comments. That's your biggest win in life. Some of y'all been in this space way too long to not even turn over a good dime. Okay? Not even a good dime. You couldn't even turn this into anything. No book sales, nothing. How is that possible? But then you wonder, you doing the math in your head, how CGA able to travel for 6-7 weeks? How are you able to do this and buy that? Take a look at what I did. Now, the funny part about it, the funny thing about it is that when I say I did that successfully as a brand, marketed myself, self-promoted, shamelessly, myself, aggressively, in the face of all adversity, in the face of male jealousy. Look, because most of my hate comes from men. Think about this. There's dudes that haven't been able to do that. How are you listening to these motherfucking men in this space, in that space? How? These motherfucking men are losers amongst themselves because they portray themselves to be some sort of philosopher.
That's it. A lot of dudes on here be acting like they philosophers, acting like they PhDs, and they not. And they get called out on it. They're getting called out on it. See, that's why I put in my bio, these are my opinions. These are my experiences, things that I've lived through, things that I've done. And I'm speaking on that and relating it to a video that I'm reacting to or a topic that we talking about. That's what I'm giving you. I'm not on her like, I read this book, chapter 17. Michael Douglas said that women are very materialistic. I ain't into that. I'm just a very plain speaking individual. Not up here trying to give you all this fluff and make it seem like, oh, I'm this extravagant guy who's done everything. I've traveled the world and I have tons of this and tons of that. And I've been with white women and black women and Asian women and Chinese women. And I've been overseas and I've done this position and that position. And I've interacted with women at work. And I like, come on, man. But it's some dudes on here, you like, bro, there's no way. There is no way. That it just ain't no way, bro. Like, people gotta stop. And people gotta be smarter than that too. If you just somebody who on her, you just watching videos, just watch the videos. You can tell people who are well read. You don't have to take everything as facts. You can actually go do your own research. Stop believing everything that you see and read on the internet. Like, get that in your head. You know what I'm saying? Gen X says, yeah, that's what I say in my bio. These are my opinions. Yeah, that's what I say. These are just my opinions, bro. These ain't facts. This ain't nothing, to hang your hat on. That's all it is.
But they're not. They're a poor excuse, an example of a man. A poor excuse. These men, the men today are a poor excuse for men. Without a doubt. It's not even funny anymore. Okay, it's not even funny. I mean, it's so apparent that you guys look crazy at this particular point. You look crazy. The craziest group of people are the black men who say so much shit about black women, and then in the same breath say they only date black women. Like, then they'll be like, oh, but you like snow bunnies. But you the first one to talk about a black woman's hair or weave. Somebody says, is this your job? Bro, if you haven't figured this out, you that stupid. Because this guy in here hating. You're that stupid.
That's that troll shit. That's what people, they also come on here and troll. Just like you just had this one guy. I just blocked him. From my page. He up here trolling. Somebody go back to Africa. America is white. Look, America ain't white. Never has been, never will be. I hate to tell you that. I hate to tell you that, sir. Okay. See, you just like these other people that Greg Adams be talking about. You just hiding behind the internet. Y'all not real people. He'll get on my page or go on somebody else's page. America is white. Go back to Africa. And then walk through a black neighborhood and be shaking in his boots. Won't say nothing, scared to walk into a store, scared to speak, scared to look. Look, it's the same reason the Klan wore hoods, but they were so tough. But they had to cover their face. Okay. All right, tough guy.
Now, you wish this was your job, but you got to go get up and go work at Jiffy Lube. I mean, that ain't my motherfucking problem. Don't make it my problem because I use the cell phone and the camera to become employed. Like, why you mad? That's like being mad at John D. Rockefeller for using oil to become a billionaire. Nigga, don't. Hey, he did it. Nigga, you could have done it too, but you didn't. Okay? That's like mad at niggas that becoming using the computer to set up a business. Well, he use a computer. Is that your job? You just gonna be on a computer? Yeah, dumb nigga. We using the tools. The tools that get a job. They go and get money. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Men are so dumb. You watch 20 years of social media go right by your face. Niggas making millions of dollars on social media, and then you ask me, is this my job? Are you this?
He ain't lying for real though. You can't let that just slip away. Gen X say, but I don't need a PhD to tell anyone the difference between man and a woman or two plus. Yeah, for real. You don't. That's why I'm saying a lot of this stuff just be common sense. See, me and you just have enough sense to say, look, I got a little change, I got a computer, I got a microphone, I got a camera. People are making money online. I'm gonna do it too. Just like he just said. You just gonna let all this pass you by. Why not get involved? Why not? It is nothing wrong with that. But people got to start using a little bit of common sense. But they say common sense ain't common no more, so I get it. Gen X say trolls are a sad group of society. Goes completely out of the way to say some shit. Yeah, dude just went all the way out his way just to say that to me. But he's gone, so we ain't got to see nothing else from him no more. Mark Green says, I got mugged in a black neighborhood. Really? Did you survive? You got white people committing atrocities too. They commit bombings. What was that dude? Oklahoma City bomber. Wasn't he a white guy? You crying about how you got mugged and you had a white guy go bomb a damn building with other white folks in it. You gonna bring that up? You want to talk about that? You want to talk about the Unabomber? You want to talk about that? Probably not. He say, "Yup, you two payday on the 21st." Tell him about it. Tell him about it, Gen X. Shit. I just started clocking a little bit of bread myself.
Stupid. You can't be this fucking dumb. But again, because I'm talking about men and solving problems, and I gotta solve your bitch ass problems with no contributions, guess what? It ain't supposed to be my job. But Mr. Beast, fine. Kyson, that's great. Speed, I show speed, that can be his job, but this can't be my job. Right? No, you can't have this as a job, nigga. You should be working and just like you, bitch nigga, I'm supposed to be working at Radio Shack just like you. No, nigga, I took a chance. I took a risk. Fuck. Nigga, this YouTube. You supposed to make money off this motherfucker.
Look, Mark Green, you don't want to do that, bro. You don't want to do that. Black people, we got our problems. Don't get me wrong. But y'all have a lot of problems as well. Don't get me wrong, but white folks have a lot of problems as well, bro. Don't think that y'all are just out here the most benevolent of people and just have graced the face of the earth. That ain't true. That ain't true. That just ain't true. White people have been enslaved before too. Y'all been enslaved too. Black folks had y'all enslaved at one point. Everything hasn't went your way either, sir. See, y'all, this internet has made some of y'all. This is what this Clanisfer stuff was talking about. What Greg Adams was talking about. This internet and all of this propaganda, it has made y'all feel like y'all are really the superior people. When the truth is, y'all don't even believe that because y'all come on a black platform or y'all go anywhere where black people are and try to prove their point. Because if you really thought that or believed that, you wouldn't have to go do that. I think I'm better than a lot of people. Do I go around and go up to them? Man, I'm better than you. You ain't on my level. I don't need to do that because I already know they're not on my level. But since if I had to constantly go push that point to them, then that means that I truly don't believe what I'm saying. But that's what y'all do. That's what you do. Big Daddy says every race has problems. This whole country has problems. Yep. Yeah, that's what he's trying to do. That's what he's trying to do. I'm about to leave him alone. I'm about to just go on and block him. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna go on and hide his comments and hide him. Cause they get me off. They get me off. But at the same time, I ain't gonna. I use them as a little bit of content, cause that's how the game go. I use them as a little bit of content, cause I know some people gonna kind of sit and what is he gonna say? What's gonna happen? But he ain't no factor. He ain't no factor. He ain't no factor. Cause see, the thing about it is I hate getting into a lot of those conversations sometimes is because I don't have an issue with white people as much as a lot of other black people do. But since they piss me off because they see a black person and they automatically assume that I have a lot of issues with white people. They just make that assumption just because they see that I'm black. They just automatically go into that. And I hate that shit. And I hate it. Cause it's like you don't even know. You have no idea. I don't believe half the shit that most people say about white people. I don't buy into all of that I don't buy into all of that shit. But see, since I'm black, he'll come on and immediately go into that type of bullshit. But that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I'm gonna get back to my video. One more thing though. Reason why I don't believe in that white supremacist shit is because I know white people ain't superior to me, so that's why I don't believe in that. But I'm gonna continue.
You supposed to make money. Well, I'm supposed to be like, well, no, I'm gonna have a regular job and then get on here and spit that. No, bro. Like what? These men are absolutely pathetic, man. I'm telling you, the Manosphere has turned out more pathetic men than we know what to do with. The Manosphere has turned out more pathetic men because it is giving them a voice. Think about this. I want you to think about this. Without the Manosphere, none of these niggas' voices would be heard in any comment section. Think about this. Think about how what I'm saying. Without the Manosphere, none of these losers' voices would ever be heard. They're only heard when the man is talking to that loser nigga and that nigga has an audience. So he thinks he has a voice. Without the Manosphere, none of these loser men got a voice. They would be just like the loser men of the past. Huh? So when I say the Manosphere has produced and given a voice to more loser-ass men, I mean it, and I'm showing you proof. So where even when I show that, look, man, you can have a life, I'll even write it down. I'm gonna do this free agent lifestyle thing. I'm gonna put the philosophy out. I'm gonna put it out on print. And I told you what I was gonna do. Now here's the funny thing about it. I only face hate when I show you that. But when I get up there on the podcast and I say women do this and women do that, y'all be like, yeah. But I show you a video of me standing next to a woman. Hater ass niggas coming out. I show you a video of me. Now, this isn't everybody. It's just the loser niggas. There's people out there supporting. I show you a video of me standing outside because y'all bitch ass is scared to go outside. I show you a video of me talking to a woman regularly without arguing with her. You supposed to be arguing with her. These motherfuckers don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. What are you doing? What are you thinking?
That's funny. I've seen his videos, other people's videos where they like out traveling, doing stuff, and you reading the comments, especially if they live, and motherfuckers are sitting up here like, "Ah, man, you scared of the woman? You ain't gonna do this." And I'm like, damn, they hating. They literally just on her just hating, bro, because they ain't doing it. And you click on some of the pages, and they got YouTube channels, and you're like, bro, this is it's manosphere hate. That's right, Tim. Some in the manosphere have no experience with women. They have none. Ron Grimble says the problem is men fell for the ideology of feminism. And he says the ideology of feminism has permeated through culture. Yep, it has. It's taken a hold of men and women.
And it's, yeah,
Yep.
I'll be with good looking women. Whoa. Dudes, when I first started doing it, dudes were like, you don't even know what you don't even know what it is to be around women. You look uncomfortable around women. You thought I was in the studio for 8 years. You didn't think I talked to women at all. You didn't think I dated, had sex. For some reason, you thought that I was antisocial and I didn't know how to talk around women. This niggas in the comment section. You look like you scared to talk to them. Like, what is wrong with these men? What is wrong with them? Like they act like I was just sitting in the office for all them years and didn't know how to talk to women at all. Like people are crazy, bro. It's like people are crazy. There's some men out here. Again, like I said, there's some men that are autistic, antisocial, losers. They're ugly niggas. Right? Nobody really likes them. They're ugly. They're the men that would never have procreated. For some reason, they know it all and got no receipts. None. None. And I've been setting this up for the better part of 2 years, just talking about it. But they don't got a receipt of their entire life, other than in the comment section. And the comment section is provided by.
That is big facts, Tim. Tim says some men in the manosphere try to bring pimpology concepts into the manosphere. Exactly. That's what a lot of these dudes be thinking it's about, trying to be a pimp, bro. Y'all not pimps. A lot of y'all ain't got it in you. A lot of y'all ain't got it in you to even be talking about being a pimp. You ain't built like that. You ain't built like that. Let alone go up and try to talk to a woman and you sit up here talking about you bringing pimp ideology into something that you won't even do. Some of y'all ain't even from places where pimping is a thing. You don't even know how it works. Y'all really the trick. You ain't the pimp. You the trick. And you don't even know it.
People that have associated with or had a close affiliation with Manosphere. Without the Manosphere, these loser niggas would be nothing. No community will welcome them. In fact, let me just take it a step further. I'll take it a step further. Most communities that existed prior to what you call the Manosphere, where these men were, before they came up over here with their male jealousy, they were ostracized even in that community. They were ostracized. The gaming community, nobody liked them over there because they were assholes. They were assholes in the comment section over there. Nobody liked them over there. What about the skeptic society? Nobody liked them weird motherfuckers over there neither. They were ostracized out of that group. The conspiracy theorist group, they were ostracized out of that group. Nobody, because they're unlikable. They're already unlikable. Know-it-alls with no face, no receipts. So what they do was they came over to a place that pandered to weak motherfucking men. And that space welcomed them with open arms.
Exactly. He ain't lying. He is not lying. It welcomed them with open arms. Ron Grimble says insults show weakness in conversation. Point out the problem. Feminism has created men with a woman's mindset. That's true. But at the same time, it's like, men, when do you just be a man? When do you stop listening to women so you can take on that feminist mindset? And I get it that some dudes were probably raised by these single mothers and you got other issues like that and whatnot. But like you said, a lot of these they just bitches. Like they just built like that. And there's nothing that you could do. There's nothing that you could do. So in a sense, I definitely agree with the manosphere is cooked. It's been cooked. It's overdone at this point. It's overdone. Tim says some men in the manosphere don't want a good woman. They just want to get laid and leave. Yep. You got a ton of dudes like that. You got to. It's so many dudes even in this space that they don't believe that it's no good women left. No matter what, it ain't one good woman left, which is a lie. There's some good women out there, just like it's some good men out there. Even though you have a lot of women that's talking about the how many men are trash and bums. There's a lot of good dudes out here. It's just that these spaces are filled with so much trash that it's hard to find these good people. That's really the problem. It's a lot of trash out here.
That space welcomed them with open arms. And to take it further, the explosion of Kevin Samuels allowed for a greater group of weak motherfuckers to come in. Okay?
And you know why? I'm gonna stop it again on that. You know why I allowed for a greater group of dudes to come in, weak dudes? Is because they saw how Kevin was talking to women. So they thought, oh, this is how we should talk to women. We can definitely talk to women like this. No, you don't have the same level of expertise. You don't have the same level of experience that he has to even be talking like that. And for one, it's a show. I guarantee you, when he's in public, he ain't talking to them same women like that. Now, if they giving him the same type of energy that they is on the show, then they was, because even in real life, those same women wouldn't even be talking to him like that. They was acting a certain way because it was a show. In public, they would just have a general conversation. I promise you, and I know they would. Both of them was playing on the fact that it was a show. But I know that Kevin wasn't out talking to women like that. Ma'am, grade yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 and you can't use a 7. Fresh out the sour, all of that type of stuff. You know he wasn't doing that to women. It was a show. But you got a lot of weak-minded dudes that was sitting up here probably uh, saying all of the KS talking points. We know this. Gen X said, I'm glad that I was raised pre-internet, back when men became men through trials and tribulations, learning how to talk to women at the malls as a teen in the early 90s. It was a competition. Yeah, I remember that. Trying to holler at the cute girl in school that you like. Let me catch her after class by herself. She turned this corner. I'm going to turn this corner too. Y'all know that. You hanging with your boys and then all of a sudden you turn, you're like, damn, where Ron go? Y'all kind of double back a little bit. He ran here talking to some chick. You see him like this. You see him from the back. He like, he come back with his little piece of paper. Like, bro, I got so-and-so number. You like, what? You got your niece number? What? Yeah, man. Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to holler at y'all, man. I gotta get out of here. Then you be like, bro, you gonna hang out with us this weekend? Man, I gotta do such and such. And y'all go to the mall and he walking around the mall with this girl. You like, bro, look at him. Look at him all caked up. He all caked up. You don't got that no more. You don't got that no more. It's over with for that. Yeah, that's right. See, he said we had our paper and pen, learning how to pick up girls, learn the gift of gab. Yeah, man, these dudes, they don't want to. They just want to come online and hear people validate their feelings of hating women. That's what they want. They want other men to be like, yeah, you can't talk to these women because they trash. They all superficial. I know a lot of women are superficial, but y'all on her for confirmation bias. That ain't gonna get you nowhere. Some in the manosphere who profane and barbaric their advice is useless. Yeah, they over the top. Some of these people are just they overkill with it. And in common sense would tell you that's not even logical. He's just being over the top for views. This video is simply for views and to bring more people to his page. That's all this is about. But some of y'all watching it and taking it as law. Y'all taking it as the truth, and that's how I should be. Don't do that. Don't do that. But check this out. I've been on here long enough, man. I appreciate y'all watching the video. I appreciate y'all checking out the channel. If you're new to the page, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also, go check out any other video that I have on my page. And I really would appreciate it. And I'll catch y'all. I'm getting a lot of notifications. And I'll catch y'all on the next video. Peace.